In ancient times, this sacred mountain was sealed by the dwarf deities with 5 powerful.
Let's skip that boring part and let's dig into business. I need your help.
Hey, where am I? This is a bit different from what I visited earlier.
Hey, come here quick.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
How dare you to interrupt my story? I am the mountain.
Well, as I was saying, this is the Misty Mountain and has two things about it. One, it's filled with golds and diamonds. And there is some kind of weird magic.
What was the last part?
Instead you can mine any dwarf streams, and all you need is a pickaxe.
Any dwarf streams?
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are. I hope that you're having an amazing Friday, and welcome to the Pickaxe Master. Here today, we'll be talking about Game Maker. We'll be talking about asset and map optimization today. We'll also be talking about logic, processing power, and probably also Game Maker boundaries. Gibesh, good morning. Good morning. No, good afternoon to you. How are you doing today?
All good, Bruno. How are you?
I'm good as well, thank you. It's
Yeah,
thank God it's Friday. Let's say one of those type of days. And how's everyone doing? Let us know in the chat. We've got here today with us Wicked U2. We've got Breezy75, 322 confirmed, last year trier, one boxed, Turbo Modex, Sid, Fred and Ferd, Super Magus, Breezy75, PG Metaverse, Go West, Fred and Ferd, MLD Tech, Novel RK, and JDog7777. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show, and hope that you're going to have some fun here today's. Hell yeah. Hello, Drakusha. Hello, miners. How you guys doing? So if you want to participate in the mining season, just type in !LFM and just fill it up that form, as we'll be raffling some pickaxes today for you to mine here in the Misty Mountain. The name has changed, says PG Metaverse. It's not Game Maker anymore, it is Game Breaker. I'm not sure if it's the Game Breaker because it's changing everything forever or because you're getting a lot of breaks in the Game Maker. Well, we did try a bit of the Game Maker 0.8 ourselves, right, Gibish? And we have
Indeed, yeah.
discovered we also encountered ourselves some unexpected behaviors of the program, but it is what it is. It's probably the first edition. For some reason, they told some projects and a lot of people to not migrate their current maps into GameMaker 0.8 as it would still be updating soon. So probably we're going to be expecting some new updates. So this is going to be a massive review by everyone, I would say, that's trying the GameMaker 0.8 right now. So I would not be surprised if in the near future there will be a new version of it with all these right. There's something really cool about GameMaker Gibbage that I like, which is that report bug button into the GameMaker itself. You just write the feedback there. It makes so easy to give feedback. So I can imagine that they're getting much more input on what's working and what's not, and they correct more. They're able to update it more often and more precisely than ever. Now, for today, Gibbage, we're talking about mining, talking about GameMaker. So I kind of feel like since we're here and we do all these mining as well, that would be like the main thing about this show. It is we hop on here, we explore the Misty Mountain, we raffle some pickaxes, mine a bit, all that thing. But also, why not for other members that are also working with the game maker, that are also trying to build their own games, their own experiences? Why not also share our own experience while working on the game maker? Because we've been spending some time in here. It's been 1 year, and there's probably some things we're not going to call ourselves experts. We're just going to share our own experience of what we have encountered, what we have found, and what kind of situations we have found ourselves in, and how did we solve. And also, welcome Priya, welcome Lawrence Hall. How are you doing today? All right. So where to start? Maybe we start with a raffle, and then we start to get some of those topics talked about. So we've got
I totally agree. Do we do one for the Pickaxe Master, for the Pickaxe, yeah, for the Pickaxe Master, for the Pickaxe owners, or for the general one?
I would start with general here. And welcome, Cartros.
Right.
How are you doing today? By the way, yesterday I was doing a trim on the videos for the Underground Master, which was an event that we did with Outer Studios, which was a builder battle. And we got all the VODs from the streams, and we tried to fit in 6 weeks of work into 10 minutes. So it's a very fast time lapse. I had to speed it up, the videos up to 8,000%. So they just 6 weeks in 10 minutes, they go super fast. But it's kind of cool to see that empty map just forming itself and just seeing stream after stream how the landscape is actually changing. It's looking really cool. And you just remind me, yeah, yesterday I was working with the VODs you sent me, and it was really nice to see yours and your teammate as well, Crafter. All right, so let's start with the general one.
Yep.
No, you did not send all the videos. You don't worry about it because there's a lot of content. Everyone's in there. There's actually videos from everyone. I think only Maddox, I don't manage to get any video from him. Otherwise, I have from all the streamers. And it's looking really good. It's super fast. Like everyone just building on steroids, 8,000% speed. Just everyone, just a map, just getting built like super fast. It's actually really funny to see it. It's not done yet. We're finishing it, but just let you know that we're working on it. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Arctic Mosaics, welcome. How you doing today? And Givesh, it feels like you're ready to spin it.
Yep. I'm just always updating that list because we're still getting answers. But yeah, let's spin it.
Okay, let's spin it. Good luck, everyone. Let's get the first lucky miner of the day. And welcome, Farioto. By the way, Farioto, you should have your iron pickaxe in your wallet by now that you won on the special stream that we had on Wednesday, which was to celebrate our first year anniversary. And also, speaking a little bit of events that are closer to this time gap, let's say, during the celebration period, we're going to have, let's just see who's going to be before I say that. It feels like it's going to be Wicked U2. Been quite some time since Wicked You 2 has not mined. So hey, congratulations! You just got yourself to be the first lucky miner of the day. And I'm pretty sure that you still have your Ruby pickaxe in your wallet, but just for the sake of doing during the live stream, let's check it right now if you still have that Ruby pickaxe. Hell yeah! And Wicked, let us know what type of blocks do you want to mine. Probably there's no need to over-explain it again. Go stone or go home. All right, we've got the winner here. Okay, more stuff to tell you about. So regarding the celebration season, we have been doing fun facts with MuckDuck for about I'm not sure 7 months, 8 months now. It's been quite some time, and since there was so many information that has been put out there in terms of fun facts regarding real geology, we decided to make a quiz test, like a challenge, for all the members that come here and enjoy those fun facts and also pay attention to those fun facts. We will be making next Friday. So from 1 week from today, 1 week forward, we'll be making a quiz fun fact about geology. It will be all based on the fun facts that we held here on the streams. So if you were paying attention, it should not be very hard for you to actually know what is the correct answer. The way that we will review those answers, it will be through if it's a correct one, of course, and secondly, the speed that you're going to do. So if you're going to rely on trying to check with Google or ChatGPT, you still have to copy, paste, wait for the answer and all of that. And just someone that's just knows the answer, it's going to be faster than you. That you can be for sure. You cannot beat. I tried that with MuckDuck. We were both doing the test at the same time. I was like, I saw the questions, I remembered them. I was like, yeah, 1 second answers. Like, you cannot beat that while trying to search for it. Also, let's send good luck here to Wicked U2 so that Wicked can get the most luck here in the Misty Mountain and get some really good prizes for the weekend. Hey, Bartolomeo, how you doing? Welcome. It's been quite some time since we have seen you here. Hello, last year trier. Welcome to the chat as well. Welcome to the stream. So that's what's going to happen next Friday. There will be it will happen on the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord yet, I do suggest that you join because it will be open for everyone. You do not need to own a pickaxe to participate on it. The only advantage I would say that you can get is that you are a regular here and you've been watching those fun facts. Probably you know more answers than everyone else. So that is a big advantage on this one. But hey, we're going to put that one. There will be some prizes, and there will be an NFT prize as well. So we're going to give.
Sorry, Bruno. Is there any place where I can, I don't know, learn or repeat those questions? Maybe I'm just trying to get ready for that challenge.
That is a good question. Of course, you can go into our YouTube channel where we have the backup and registry of all the streams that we are doing for. I'm not sure when it started. But I think we started to register on YouTube like at August, maybe last year. I'm not quite sure, but let me get you the link. You can put a subscribe there as well. You can see all the VODs from past streams. So just check it out there.
So Wicked U2, we're still not getting anything to drop. Maybe it's brewing for something big.
Oh.
Let's see here.
Ooh. I like when that happens, when it feels like you get all the despair, like all the oh no's, we're not getting anything, and just boom, last minute, you get a white diamond. Then it would pop one. That would be funny. Been a hot minute, but found some time to build and watch some streaming amongst moving. Hell yeah. You seem like you're having a busier period of life. All right, so that's what's going to happen for next week. So get your learning in time. Try to see the fun facts that have been posted. You can also check with MuckDuck on the server. Most of those are also in the Discord. But apart from that, let's talk a bit about the Game Maker and about the topics I wanted to bring into the stream today. So we talked about map and asset optimization. We talked about game maker and logic performance, and we talked about and want to talk about game maker boundaries. So I would probably start with the first one, which would be asset and map optimization. And we have been doing a lot of optimizations on this map as we need to actually have the frames per second higher. I'm not sure if you all watched Crafter interview with Cyber Dragon probably yesterday or two, or it was 2 days ago. I'm not completely sure, but it was a very interesting interview where he was talking about GMF applications. We was talking. It had a very big chunk of the interview that was towards game maker phone applications and what they needed to respect and whatnot. Like what was the minimum of quality. Um, and regarding that, there was an information that was saying that he was talking about map design, he was talking about performance, he was talking that, for example, I remember he saying that games need to never drop below 30 FPSs. I was like, okay, that is information I never heard before. Like, okay, this is a rule. It should never go below 30 FPSs on your game. Although there's like several different things to consider, such as RAM, like allocated RAM, mono RAM, and all of that, that also impact and affect your game. But we'll go towards that in a bit. So, firstly, I want to talk about asset and map optimization because they do affect the game overall in terms of performance. So let's start with that one because it's probably where everything starts. When you open that Fox edit, you're trying to make your own custom assets, then you bring to the game maker, and then you use it. You're going to use then, for example, if you're trying to make like some sort of grass or some sort of moss, something to decorate heavily on the map, you're going to be using that asset thousands of times. So you really have to make sure that asset is pretty well optimized. Otherwise, you'll be creating a lot of either nodes, face counts, and not necessarily that's going to make the game look better or going to make the game run smoother. So let's go into that. Oh, the pickaxe just broke.
Hmm.
Oh,
A ruby pickaxe?
a ruby pickaxe. We got nothing.
Nothing.
God damn it. Wicked YouTube. Wow. I'm speechless right now because this is not very often to happen. Having a ruby pickaxe and not getting any at all. This is not common. But hey, it's purely RNG. I have to say we had a lot of prizes during the last streams. So it feels a bit natural that sometimes we do get prizes and sometimes we do not get prizes. It's quite rare, I have to say, but sometimes it happens. I would blame for the lack of good lucks in the chat. I'm kidding. There were a lot of good lucks in the chat. Maybe if we did more, we would get, but it is what it is. So, Gibbs, while we do that, my suggestion would be for you to go into Game Maker and maybe let's try to delete some boulders where we could see that there's access, and we can while we do that, we talk about Game Maker. What do you think?
Yeah, we could try.
Okay, and before we go, let's just read these two questions here. We've got one from PG Metaverse, which is: are you guys going to use 0.8 in your game? Yes, we will. We have not migrated yet because we have been told not to do so. So we're waiting for that green light to update the map into 0.8, but we'll be using. There's so many good stuff in it. Why? I see no reason for anyone not using it. And Leslie Trier is typing that I tried to find Iron Kid Village and the Misty Mountain on Game Maker to explore. Aren't still available, right? So Leslie Trier, yes, the game is not available yet on the Game Maker Gallery. It won't be published on the Game Maker Gallery, and it will be published on the Sandbox official, how do you say, events. So it could be Alpha Season 4, it could be other events, it could be both, it could be, I don't know. We've got to wait to see what the future holds for us. And what we have to say is that when it gets published, it will be published by the Sandbox themselves. And we're pretty much finalizing into the very, very last touches into this map. We optimized everything, I would say, to exhaustion. We're just going to try to like now, just delete a bit of more assets where we could see that there's an overload of decoration, or that it feels like, okay, these could be toned down a little bit. And we're going to look for boulders now. We did a lot of food.
Actually, I'm thinking to search more of the Rock 3 because
Mm-hmm.
it's way more phase heavy asset than the boulder.
Okay, so let's talk about asset optimization since you just mentioned it. And why did you choose that one towards the other one?
Sorry, do not understand why I choose that one.
So why did you go for a rock? So to optimize the number of rock v3 instead of optimizing the boulders, for instance.
Just because boulders have
Mm-hmm.
around 50-60 faces
Mm-hmm.
and rocks has around 300 250 300 faces. So basically one rock is more than, in some cases, 6 boulders. So
Incredible,
we
right?
need
Yeah,
to
that's nice.
remove 6 boulders to get the same face reduction as one rock. So I just thinking maybe I can make a bit more smarter use out of maybe deleting some rocks and adding some
Mhm.
little boulders and having overall same look, but really going lower on those faces.
So that means if we trade, for example, those two small rocks for one of those boulders, we're going to save like about, oh, there's even one there. It does not feel like it needs something else, but yeah, we can add that one.
Just to have I think that rock was there just to have a bit of balance. This is a
Mhm.
little of some sort of rock crystal rock formation and
Mhm. Mhm.
just
That's the dynamic.
probably, yeah,
So we just saved like what from those two rocks we deleted?
I would say 500 400 faces.
Faces. So we just that's I just want to say, wow, we just did this very simple change, and that was 500 faces we saved. So Gibbous actually did a script to count the number of assets in the game, and we found out that has been very useful for our case because we're struggling. Like, okay, we need to tone down a bit of the assets, but we're kind of lost where the number of assets that we were actually using. And Gibbous, you want to give a bit of more insight with that program that you did to count and what numbers you got in here?
Yeah, basically it's very simple. If you click on the 19th object in the hierarchy and if you scroll 7 times, so I clicked not on the 19 one, and if you click and if I rotate 7 times the wheel, again the asset that I click is on the top. So this was 19 assets. Then do it again. Yeah, let's click right here. Let's rotate 7 times. Yeah, but basically this is the idea. So basically, if you click on the 19th object and you move your scroll wheel 7 times, the hierarchy gets into that same place. So basically, you create a little clicking thing that clicks on specific plates, rotates the wheel and clicks again. But there's a bit more logic to checking if that happened, that I integrated, but basics are just very simple logic that if you click on the 19th object and if you rotate 7 times, it's, as you see, it's on the top, the
Hmm.
one that
So,
I clicked. And
so it is
again,
based on clicks, right?
yeah, it's
The
based on
macro you
clicks.
did. Okay.
Yep. And yeah, it just has a variable
Hmm.
that it adds numbers to. And yeah, I at the beginning it was quite slow. I had to test it. Is it really working good? But yeah, it's really helpful. I totally see Sandbox doing this automatically in the future. This is
Hmm.
in any case like I really see Sandbox doing this. It's very easy for them. I think maybe not. Maybe not very easy, but I think it's really useful for them to make it, but probably in future, not right now. Um, and yeah.
So, do you want to tell a bit of the results you got from here? So, we're just speculating the number of assets that we actually had in the game, just to compare. Okay, this is the frame rate we're getting. This is the number of assets we're getting. So, if we remove all the assets from the map and we leave only the logic, how much frames per second do we have? So, how much is this logic consuming in the map? That was the main question. In order to be able to improve, first we must know how much is only the logic taking the processing power, space in the map, let's say. And then after that, we can see, okay, so if this is what's being used for the logic, it means that everything else is being used for the assets. Knowing that the map without anything runs on fixed 60 frames per second, we can understand how much the logic is taking frames per second and how much assets are taking frames per second and how much it is consuming RAM. So I also did one test regarding the RAM, and for example, do you still have the list of number of assets that you did?
Yes, I have opened right here, and
Okay.
but for example, right now I'm just well, it's a rough estimation at the moment because we did a lot of updates. I need to recalculate them to have exact numbers. But basically, what it gives me that basically Rock V2, there are 800 of them, at least it was, and it's around 250,000 faces. Only
200
for
and 250,000 faces.
Yep.
That's like
And
1/4 of a million
Yep,
faces.
yep. And for example, the biggest boulder, like
Yep.
well, not the biggest, but almost biggest boulder V3
Hmm.
has only 60 faces, and we have like 1,000 of these, more than 1,000 of these, and it's only 65,000 faces.
Faces.
So it's almost 200 faces less, though we have almost 200 face assets more. So
Hmm.
face count really matters. Basically, if you want to make assets a light game, you really have to calculate those faces. For example, the difference on asset between, as you can see, 60, 70 faces and 300 faces really accumulate fast.
Yep.
So at least for me, I can see a difference that basically, if it's less than 100 faces, it's okay. If it's more than 100 faces, you could think of trying to optimize that asset. If it's less than 50 faces, it's perfect, at least in my opinion.
I think
Um,
I would put in different categories. So imagine, for example, is it like, for example, we have the troll witch, which has almost 500 faces, that asset alone, but we only have one
5,000.
of almost 5,000 faces, that one alone. But it's one asset only. It's like it's something that you're not going to repeat over the map. So what I wanted to say is probably that one yet does not need to be there. What I want to say is it going to be an asset that you'll be repeating a lot, or is just that like that one asset that is supposed to stand out like a lot, and it's just one you're going to use? So if you're going, and this is what he was saying, if it's an asset that will be repeating like 500 times in the map, 1,000 times in the map, then yeah, you should really think about optimizing it. For example, do you want to tell the mosses, the example that we found on the mosses?
Yeah, so there are two kinds of mosses. There is bigger moss and there is smaller moss. The bigger one has 120 faces. The smaller one has 60, 70 faces. There is still possibility to go a little bit lower on that, and even I don't know, one face, maybe, well, not one face, but at least four faces is quite the reduction when you have thousands of assets. So
How
even
many do
four
we have
face.
there?
So this is
Counting all the
all
mosses.
this is all data, but
Uh-huh.
basically regarding the, for example, V2, which has 120 faces, there is
Hmm.
1,275, which is 155,000 thousand of faces. So even removing like six faces would really well,
Make a difference. If you
I can
1,000,
just
that's
enter.
6,000 faces right there, just by removing, right?
Oh yeah, around 10,000. At least in this case, I just dropped it like maybe 10 faces, and
Hmm.
it well yeah, it's something logical. If you have 10,000 of assets and you remove 10 faces, you remove 10,000 of faces.
And the other
Um,
example regarding the moss that I wanted, so we're reviewing all the assets, so we know that all the assets are pretty much optimized when the game goes live for these same reasons. And while you were working with that, you also figured out that, for example, in those mosses, they were like empty, some empty
uh,
parts inside, right?
yeah, there was. I cannot show you, but how I did this. So if I enter Moss, um, you see right in the previous version,
Mm-hmm.
there was, or in newer version, I'm not sure. But basically, you can see the object is a bit translucent.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a little bit through it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, inside one of the mosses, there was a empty voxel inside, which add 6 faces. So
And
yeah,
sometimes you're like, hey, no one's going to see this, so like, it does not merit if it does not get filled in. It's
yeah,
actually
totally,
adding
totally,
faces. Although it's
yeah.
not seenable, it's adding faces. So, like you're saying, we have thousands, and we just actually filled in that one missing voxel, and just by doing that, we saved 4,000 voxels in the map. And when we're talking about optimization, and it for in our case, this is why we wanted to talk about game maker boundaries. We feel like we've reached the game maker boundaries in terms of processing and in terms of gameplay. So 4,000 faces less, it's optimizing. It's making the game run faster because it will read the game faster as well. So it's pretty much everything that counts in here. And also, let me give a warm welcome here to Ian, the IT guy, to Maxi, and welcome. How you guys doing? And also, we got some messages. Brock Lumu is saying, I like that asset management technique. I will definitely start using that to help manage asset counts. If you do that, when you start a new experience, if you do that, and you also put up a spreadsheet and you also use the control F9 to see the stats, you'll be able to be taking notes. Okay, I started to decorate with these assets. When I started, I had these frames per second. When I finished, I am getting this amount of frames per second. So you actually have a comparison where's your starting point and where's your ending point. And knowing the amount of assets, the amount of faces that it has, you can see the correlation on how much it's actually weighting on your game maker. You're going to say something?
I just wanted to discuss, for example, this place.
Mm-hmm.
There was a rock, there was some
Mm-hmm.
mosses, and I deleted 3 mosses and added 1 boulder. I saved 100 faces, maybe even more.
We will do this. Imagine that we do this, and every time that Gibbous is now changing some mosses, some rocks, and trading for boulders, and we get to save from 100 to 500 face count in each one of these. Let's imagine that we get to review 100 assets by doing this. So by reviewing 100 assets and saving 100 faces in each, just to make some round numbers, that will be so let's make so it'll be 100, will be 1,000, 100,000 faces that will be saving. And from the numbers we discussed, just from mosses, we've got 250,000 faces. So 100,000 faces, it's a lot that we're saving. You'll probably be getting from that. So let me think. If I just deleted one type of moss, I would say let's talk about 100,000 faces. You'll be saving there about from 10 to 20 megabytes of RAM, or maybe more, and you'll be getting like an added 1 or 2 frames per second on your experience. Just to say some examples of how actually performance and frame and face count are correlated, because when you're playing, you're reading everything that's happening on the map.
Yeah,
And
even changes. For example, if we destroy a block, I think it
mhm.
adds memory, not removes it.
If we destroy a block, what do you mean? When we are mining?
A mineable block, yeah. If we mine it, we change the
Hmm.
state of it, and it takes memory. At least for what I understand, but don't take it for granted from me.
It also feels like that way. I've also experienced something similar to that. And last year, Try is saying it would be interesting if you create different type of breaking rocks in the future. Hey, that's for future expansions. We're planning to do some cool variations. Also, we've got Temple of the Four Winds. That's going to have certainly different stuff in there. That's one of the expansions as well. But yeah, don't worry, we'll be making more. The main goal here is to get this title out, the Misty Mountain, and these will be pretty much this foundation for a lot of the things we'll be creating after. So once this one is pretty much solid rock and everything is working as intended, all the leaderboards, and we've got that functioning, we'll be adding more modes, which could be, for example, like for a higher cost of resources and one that is for cheaper cost of resources. There's a couple of things we can do there. Okay, so that's on our minds. It will be taking some time to do some sort of version 2 of this map, or like just something different in here. And Maxi is saying, good tip. I made some mistakes building trees, and trunk had a lot of holes. Exactly, those holes and those. Sometimes you're just filling an asset like, oh, this is on the inside of the asset. Nobody is going to see this, so yeah, I'm just going to leave it empty. And when you're doing and you're multiplying that asset, you're using that 1,000 times in your map. If it's by not filling it up, you're using, for example, 4 to 8 faces. If you have 1,000 of those, that's 8,000 faces you're not optimizing. And you may feel like, oh, only 8,000 faces, that's so less. Why should you care? Imagine that you do that throughout all the assets. So it's 8,000 here, then you have 5 different types of mosses. So that's already 40,000. Then you have 10 different types of rocks and boulders, and you have the same number. So that's already 80,000. If you sum them bit by bit, and at the end, you would be getting like numbers as up or as high as 100,000 faces that do not need to be there. They're just because of lazy building. So really pay attention to that. It really helps in the long run.
I think for some players, even 1,000 faces could really mean lag or no lag.
It's true.
But every single face counts, at least for my opinion. At least in some other game engines, faces does not mean that much. But at least in here, I'm really happy of when I calculated how much faces we have. I'm really happy with the performance of GameMaker. So
yeah. Actually, we did not knew that the game was reading so many faces. I had no idea until we got those numbers. When we started like, oh, only this moss is like 250,000 faces, only one asset. So when we added all of those, we have millions of faces here that the game is reading. So of course it will make the game go slower with millions of faces being real time. And Fred and Ferd, well, I think that the space also could be served for this, as we get to be mining and we get to be raffling some pickaxes, also to share some of our experience on what we're building. I think it's a good thing to do, to give back towards the community, since we also learned so much with all the tutorials that I've been putting out there. So I think it's also our responsibility to do our share and give some tips and tricks on what we have found. And one box is saying, in a roping example, leaving it on bigger blocks and later attaching a single voxel via animator to add the detail like a single thread piping out is better than having the whole asset in small pixels for that detail. Okay, let me try to understand. So there's a rope, and leaving it on bigger blocks and later attaching a single voxel via animator to add a detail like single threads piping out is better than having the whole asset in small pixels for that detail. Well, animated assets, that's a behavior, and behavior also do consume processing power in the game maker. So that's another thing, which we're going to talk that on the second part, which would be logic performance, and how much each type of logic, how much it consumes, and overall how could much logic consume in the map. And map and asset animations is actually one of the behaviors that do take most processing power of the game as well. So what I did there, I deleted a couple of fishes. I also took the animations out from the fishes in the village because of that same reason. I feel like it's not going to be a big deal if they're already dead, if the fishes are not alive anymore in the village, the ones out of the water. So I did also that change in the map, just letting you know, Gibish.
But wasn't it is that it was like dead? Because
They were
I'm not sure.
moving. No, they had the
I
animation.
in Game Maker in play mode.
Yes. And now I removed that animation.
All right, all right. Maybe something changed because I remember that me with the guys discussed that that we need to add that animation just to them look like dead, but maybe the naming of animation changed.
Oh, I did not check that. Maybe it was because I do remember having like a dead animation or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe I removed the animation, now they're alive.
yeah,
God damn
because I think it was to make them not move inside play mode. We
Okay,
will we will test it.
we will test
Um,
it. But yeah, that was so for the one box rope example. I'm not sure if I completely understand the question. That's why I'm getting a bit of struggle to answer. Uh, Living on bigger blocks and later attaching a single voxel via animator to add detail like a single thread piping out is better than having the whole asset in small pixels and nodes for that.
well, regarding the face count,
Yes.
um, I think having simple models is better. But having nodes wise, like, yeah, probably if you're trying to save on nodes, you could try to add a base mesh and then add the detail mesh, or add the base asset and add the detail asset on top, just
Hmm.
to have them as separate assets inside GameMaker and not as a one big and this is also interesting because, for example, for LODs or lower end PCs, you could not add those details. So basically, if you clicked on low performance, don't load details asset. Like,
Hmm.
only load the base asset. That's also
Okay.
actually interesting idea to consider. Just maybe in future regarding big experiences and decorating. Yeah, big experience and
Okay.
decorating
And
is, I think, very hard at this moment of development
having some sort
inside.
of toggle like high res, low res, medium res. So whenever the player chooses the settings, you'll know that okay, these will be the ones that will load. If the player goes high res, it will load everything. So having some sort of configurable assets that will be just extra work, but that will be a cool feature. And one box is like a question in two parts. So it was actually asking face count versus animation, which one would be the most optimized? From making that same rope only with face counts, or getting that same rope but with animation.
Well, I would say that you cannot run away from face count because, well, if you want a detailed asset, you will need face count. Though with animations, it's also, if your asset needs animating, you cannot run around that. You could not like make it somehow fake animated. Um, at
But
least
sometimes,
regarding
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, like he has two ways that he wants to do the asset. He can do
mm,
either, so he can make it look good both ways. But I think his question was like, which one would optimize the most? And well, I cannot give a 100% answer on that. We would have to run tests just for that purpose. But I would say face count would save because animation. So you would have at least, so the only extra asset pixels voxels would be those threads, like you were saying, the threads that could be through an extra node, or it could be through animation. So those extra nodes those will always be there, either animated or just either integrated in the design of the assets. The only thing is that you also need to put an animated behavior in the game maker. So that's another thing that's been worked on. So I would go, if I had to choose an answer, I would go with the face count.
I have a question. Before there was an option for when you uploading an asset to set a base behavior. So I don't know if it's possible now, but basically to make asset automatically have that animated decoration behavior. I don't know if that's possible at this moment, but I remember it being possible before. And is this gone, or this is just a feature that we're waiting to come back? Because I really feel like there is a lot of potential inside that. Like, for example, a possibility to make this asset a light, so you don't need to go to light and edit all of that performance. You just have a lamp, and it automatically has a lamp behavior attached to it. I think it's useful, and I'm not seeing this feature like really used. Or maybe not used. Is also
So
probably
mint assets with behaviors on it is what he's saying.
yeah, yeah, and it was. I think it was, but I'm not sure. Is it still now?
Okay. That would be probably, it would be cool, but also could be restrictive. Not quite sure.
Though you could change the behavior. For example,
Okay.
if you place a numpad, it's automatically a button, but you can always remove that behavior and add other. But
So it would
basically,
be like an NFT that comes already like with the presets built in.
well, not the preset. Basically, what I mean, if I enter numpad and if I add it,
It
it's
already comes with
automatically a
indicator
button.
and button.
Indicator and button. Yeah, I'm just about this one. Just basically, I'm not seeing this feature that basically we could make a boulder animated asset automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, is this feature just straight gone, or is it the lucky ones who minted it got it, or I don't know.
Well, with the way that they're separating logic and assets, I would say that it would not come back, because they're
Yeah.
really trying to take logic away from the assets and just being as a separate thing, which I think it's good to not have the logic to be weighed down on actually the assets. So we have logic performance that's not being overlapped by map performance. So separating those two things, it's very good. So probably would not be getting back, because going towards that line of thought, I think it's the right way to go. And welcome, Huddle. How are you doing today? Okay, that was so we were talking about map and asset optimization. Those were a bit of some insights. So saving face count while building on Vox Edit, and if you're going to use multiple times that asset, it will really help you down the road. So that's one thing that we could just summarize out of this, and you'll actually put more assets than you think you will. That's the second thing. We discovered that in our case, there are assets that we have put up like thousands of times, and having that asset not that much optimized or not as optimal as it could be. For example, having just a simple decoration asset that has about 200 or 300 faces, and that we're going to use thousands of times, you're going to dealing yourself with 200,000 faces just because of that small decoration, that small detail on the map. And you want to prevent that from happening as much as possible. So details should be actually for details. And you should try to save that as much as possible. Okay, that's one. I think that we could go over the second topic, but before we do that, we should give another pickaxe. We should raffle another pickaxe, mine some, and then get back to the second topic. What do you guys think? And what do you think, Ivash?
I'm cool. Though hope the performance will not go too low. I'm half full on memory.
Oh,
It's not bad. It's not bad though.
we'll manage
we
it. We'll
we
manage it.
still have 16 gigabytes to go. So we should be able to go back and forth sometime.
Okay, so we did one
Yeah.
for general, so we should do for pickaxe owners now. Oh, and by the way, I think your camera just turned off as well. And before we close map and asset
Yeah,
optimization
when
regarding what we were
loading.
talking, I just wanted to say that if there's any questions regarding map and asset optimization that you want to put here, please just let us know. And regarding one box, that question, that's a very good question. And our suggestion would be try to ask Panda Pops. She's probably the most well-versed person in Vox Edit to actually answer that. And when she does, let us know also here when we find ourselves in the next stream, what was her answer so that we all can learn from her. Hey, safe drive, Huddle Hill. Hope that we're a good companion to your driving. And Gibush, where are you? You disappeared.
Freaking internet.
Freaking internet.
I should be back any second. Yeah, I saw my hand. So any second now. No, technology, no.
Not yet.
Oh,
There we go. You're back.
I appeared from invisibility. I put out the invisibility cloak.
Oh, speaking in the invisibility cloak, I managed myself to scoop Harry Potter spell.
I was thinking you will say that hat, but yeah.
Well, it's funny. ENS names and trying to get the cool names that you like from stuff that you like as well. It's funny. Like, oh, I got this. I got the name of this spell. Ooh.
All right.
So we got on play modes.
Yeah. So let me check how is those answers going. So we did one for pickaxe owners. We have some new entries right there, but we have 26 entries inside.
That was general.
General. So should we do one for the general?
No. We should do now for pickaxe owners. So we started with general. Now we do pickaxe owners.
Probably.
Probably.
I don't remember.
It was. Now it's fair we go back and forth between one and the other. So let's do for pickaxe owners this one. We've got 13 responses.
All right.
Let's get some love to our miner club.
13 answers, and let's shuffle and let's spin.
All right, good luck everyone. Let's do this.
Let's spin.
And the next lucky miner.
Also, I want to double check. Can you hear the sound of the game?
I can. It's very relaxing, I have to say.
Oh, good.
The birds, the croaking of the frogs.
Ooh, is it 322 confirmed?
Or is it Ian? Oh.
This is close one. I think it's
322 confirmed. Yes, it is. Congratulations. You just got yourself to be the next lucky miner. We're just going to see if you're here on the chat to claim your prize, and also if you still own the pickaxe in your wallet. That was a close one, and he's here. So also let us know what type of blocks you want to mine. And in case someone that's watching this stream and it's the first time in here, let's break it down for you on how the Pickaxe Master works. So currently, the version that we're looking at, it's a sort of demo version. So the game is actually built to have the final version. So this NPC that's actually here we're talking to, this is the one that's going to be in the final version. We put up like a copy of him up there, but it's for the demo version, as we do not get to have in-game wallet integration in the game yet. So this is a different one, but it's the same. They just have different functionalities. This one is ready for demo version. The down there is ready for the final version. So let's just state how it works on the demo version, and then later on, if you're interested and you want to understand more how the Pickaxe Master works, you'll get to learn how will be the final version. So let's go with Stone. Go Stone or go home. So before we start to mine, please everyone type in good luck for 322 confirmed, as we want him to get some really nice loot and have a good weekend with these bags full of prizes. So good luck, 322 confirmed, and let's do it. All right, so basically how you play this game. Right now, we have a warm-up season, so the only way to be playing this game is by joining these streams where we'll be raffling pickaxes and giving them to you. So we'll be playing the game for you. Because the game is not live yet, we're part of the Game Maker Fund, and the game will be delivered and it will be launched by Sandbox. So during that meantime, we're doing something really cool, which is sort of an alpha season while we debug the test and while we get to experience this live with all of you. So you see the updates, you'll also be seeing how everything is turning on, and we get to give you some pickaxes to mine and have some fun in here. So right now, there are we have the pickaxe NFTs, which are the ones that enable you to participate on the play-to-earn mining seasons. So when you come here to the stream, if you have a pickaxe, you'll also be eligible. Oh, we got a silver nugget. You'll also be eligible to rank up in the play-to-earn leaderboards. Although we do make raffles for members that do have and do not have pickaxe NFTs in your wallet. For those cases, we'll be giving one to you, and whatever you win, it will be sent later to your wallets after the stream. I'm just taking also some notes here of what's being mined. Did we get another prize?
No, still one nugget.
Silver nugget, okay. So that will be, and by the end of the season, we'll be distributing extra prizes. And speaking in which, if you guys took a look to the announcement we did for best miner prizes, another silver nugget. Let's go. So the prizes have been announced. Let's also go through that. I think it's a good time to reference that. So not only we have the general, when we have the master mining leaderboards, but now we also have the prizes for best miner, which is we've got best miner for best coal, best iron, best copper, best silver, best gold, best gemstones, best diamonds. So there's a best miner for each category. And let's review what will be the prizes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will there someday in future be a unluckiest leaderboard?
Oh wow, the unluckiest miner. I'm not sure. That would be a hard metric to get.
Yeah, I totally. This is just food for thought and just for funsies.
How do you measure something you did not get?
I don't know, but
maybe you can. Maybe we can. So for these prizes, we'll be rewarding the top 3 in each category. So let's go over through that list while we do some mining. And also, Gibbage, whenever we got a drop, let me know so that I can fill in. Okay. While we do this, let me just make something really fast in here, as I will be reading this to you while Gibbage is making some really nice mining in here. We're going to get some really good prizes. I can feel it already.
Oh, your camera disappeared. Maybe not the camera, but the view.
Yes, I did that on purpose.
All right.
I'll just be reading a bit here. So, for best miner prizes on this warm-up season, because for season 1 it will be much higher prizes, but we have to start somewhere. So let's start with this. So for top 3 on best coal miner, first place will win extra 5 sand, second place will win extra 3 sand, and third place will win extra 2 sand. And also, you can win in multiple. You actually can win like all the categories. If you manage to be first place in all categories, then you get first place prizes on all categories.
Needs
You
to
can
start
make
digging.
yeah, so just come here to the stream and start digging. Once this game goes live and we get to have an automatic leaderboard, then you'll be able to rank for yourself and see the stats for yourself. But in the meantime, warm-up season, this is the place to be. This is where you can rank and get those extra prizes. So right now, for extra, just give me 1 second.
Oh, I like this
So
passage.
right now, for best coal miner, we've got first prize 5 sand, second place 3 sand, and third place 2 sand. So that's 10 sand as a total prize for the coal category. For best iron miner, the first place will be 10 sand, second place 6 sand, third place 4 sand. For best copper miner, the first place will be 15 sand, second place 9 sand, and third place 6 sand. For best silver ore miner, the first place will be 20 sand, second place will be 12 sand, and third place will be 8 sand. So you can already see yourself winning like multiple categories, like being first on one of these, being second, being third, just accumulating all these prizes together. So for silver nuggets, best silver nugget miner, we've got first place 25 cents, second place 15 cents, third place 10 cents. So how much did we get there?
2 silver nuggets goes to
2 silver
3.
nuggets.
2 confirmed.
All right,
I have
3 to 2
to
confirmed.
research on some accents. How did miners in the Wild West talked?
In the Wild West talked. All right. So I would say, since we're on topic and we're talking about prices, I would say that we still have a bit of other categories. Oh, it's still not fixed.
I'm trying to release the resource before it grabs it. So I basically bring it on, then press E to let go, but it's still.
No, it will still no. It will still clear it up.
Yeah, but I'm just trying.
But that logic was left in the middle yesterday, so it's not a finished one.
All right, but yeah, all still works quite well, at least for me.
Okay, so what I'm going to suggest is to do another raffle while we get through all the other categories. And PG Metaverse is asking, do we need to fill the form all the time? Yes, it's once per stream, and there are 2 forms. There's one for general, and there's one for pickaxe owners. You should fill both, as we'll be raffling one from one list and the other from the other list.
Make a script for that.
Give us his all. It's all about that script, about that script, about that script.
No travel.
Very good. So yes, you do have to fill it once, because we will give, yes, 1 time per stream. Just have to fill it once for pickaxe owners and once the general one. That way we know that we're giving the prizes for 1, people that are here today, and secondly, for members that are watching the stream. So Givas, do you want to pull now for the general one? All right,
yep.
Done. Let's go.
The wheel is appearing, though we will need to update the... Look at all those names.
All right, let's
shuffle.
Let's shuffle.
And let's spin.
Let's spin the wheel. All right.
All right.
Good luck, everyone. And let's see who gets to be the next lucky miner. When we get that, we'll go over the upcoming categories for best miners. So we already went up to best silver ore miner, and we're telling about best silver nugget. That first place is 25 cents on top of everything that you've...
It's Turbo Modex, first time miner, I think.
Turbo Modex won once, if I'm not mistaken. Congratulations, Turbo Modex. You got to be the next lucky miner. Let us know if you're still watching the stream and type in the chat so you can claim your prize. All right, let's
do
wait a little bit.
Have a pickaxe, so we will need to raffle one.
Between 1 and 2, being 1 an iron and being 2 a silver.
Yep.
Also, for everyone that does not have any pickaxe yet, reminder, next week, next Friday, there's going to be a quiz based on the fun facts. And we will be giving out a gold pickaxe for the first, for the winner, for first prize. There'll also be some sand prizes for second and third. But hey, just letting you know that there's a gold pickaxe in the raffle to whoever wins that challenge.
So it seems like Turbo Modex is not here.
Don't delay, but
Let's
buy today. I totally agree. But sometimes there are some people that do not have that amount of sand to buy, and hey, it's a chance. If you have a pickaxe and you're looking to get more pickaxes whenever crafting is possible, hey, why not an extra pickaxe to keep that up, to keep upgrading whenever we got crafting ability released? Yeah, that was a glimpse of last stream, the multiplier. But Turbo Modex does not seem to be here. I'm not sure if it's worth to raffle one or two. I think we should just re-raffle.
let's shuffle and spin.
All right, let's do this.
I think yeah, I think we should go quick on these. The more we spin, the more chances we give. So even if well, even live happens, but I don't know. To wait a little bit is, I think it's cool.
Yeah, 1
happens,
minute
but
about it.
yeah,
Oh,
but
are we going to have Arctic Mosaics or PG Metaverse? Hey,
this is a close one.
Close one. Arctic Mosaics. Hey, congratulations and welcome, Lazy Bunny NFT. How you doing? Okay, let us know, Arctic Mosaics, if you're still watching the stream. Just type in the comments here in the chat so that you can claim your prize. Here it is. Almost there. Almost there. So maybe we reduce the time to 1 minute.
At least maybe for this stream, or just let's try. Maybe we will see that people come back quite often, or maybe we'll just spin more. I think spinning is fun. More dopamine for us.
Hey, Julio, welcome. How are you doing today? All right. It does not seem that that he or she is here, so let's spin it again. One more time.
For sure. Just let me update the list. The list got bigger.
All right, and good luck, everyone. Let's spin again. I'm waiting for the Sandbox rewards to get some more NFTs too. And it will be really cool whenever we get all the NFTs migrated to Polygon, since I would bet that most of us has the sand in Polygon. So I'm pretty sure that that will be a catalyst for trading, sand trading, just to buy NFTs, because gas fees are cheaper. A lot of sand is already there. So pretty much that will be a catalyst for a lot of... Is it going to be Turbo Modex again?
It is, and I see that Arctic Mosaics is right here.
He's back. God damn it! You just missed by a couple there. So close. It is the only thing between me and the shopping spree. Yes, when it comes to Polygon and there's those reduced tax fees, that's just going to be mwah. It's going to be a huge catalyst for the Sandbox. Okay, I feel like this is going to be Breezios or Drakusha.
I feel like Drakusha.
No.
No.
Breezy 75. Hey, congratulations! You just got to be the next lucky miner. It was so close.
I'm really sad that I don't know how we should do about that waiting, because I totally understand that people are getting back to stream back and out of the stream, but
and there's also the delay between the chats and the stream, actually.
Also the delay.
So like at least 2 minutes, I think it's feasible. Yeah.
The timer, yeah, all right. Timer should be cool, you know, that everyone gets equal chances, and well,
like a 2-minute timer. I think it's a perfect one. We can work on that for next streams,
Yeah.
but for
So
today we'll...
next stream I will add a timer just
Okay.
to make this as bot as possible. Bot
Sounds good.
for not human.
Ask a few times and get a good average. Okay. And we already got Breezy75 saying go Stone. Stone is on higher today. Okay, let
Yeah,
me take
and
note on here.
I see
Gold.
that we going to get a pickaxe.
So have you confirmed that there's a gold pickaxe in Breezy75 wallet?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Let's do this. So everyone, please type good luck in the chat, as we want Breezy75 to have the most possible luck in here so that prizes come out and we have a good weekend, everyone. And while we continue to mine, let me resume back on the best miner prizes, for the prizes for the best miners. So we were in Silver Nugget. Let's go now for best gold ore miner. The first place will be 30 sand, second place 18 sand, and third place 12 sand. That will be all extra that this is just new categories that you can win in all of those. Best gold nugget miner. First place 35 sand, second place 21 sand, third place 14 sand. For best emerald miner, the first place will get 40 sand, second place 24 sand, and third place 16 sands. Now for best sapphire miner, it will be the first place 45 sand, second place 27 sand, and third place 18 sands. Now for best ruby miner, which we already have a couple. We're going to have first place 50 sands, second place 30 sands, and third place 20 sands. If there are some categories that do not have, for example, I'm going now for white diamond, and we only have one white diamond on that list. And let's imagine that that person that gets to win the white diamond, but there's no second or third place, they will win the whole category for themselves. So for best white diamond, we have first place with 55 cents, second place with 33 cents, and third place with 22 cents. What happened?
I forgot to turn off the wheel. I'm so...
sorry, I was not paying attention because I was reading in these cards as well.
And I have to learn to always see the stream on one screen, because I'm sometimes looking at the answers, looking at the OpenSea and everything, and sorry for this inconvenience.
Nah, don't worry about it. I think everyone tried to warn you. It's all good. We get back to mining. So the last category is for best blue diamond miner, and the first place is 60 cents, second place 36 cents, and third place 24 cents. So I can imagine here that let me try to get some examples. So right now, let's see, for example, we're mining for Breezy75. Let's see what is Breezy75 ranking so far. So he's in second in coal right now, for example. And if this was the last stream before warm-up season would end, that means he would get 3 sand from being second place on best coal miner.
A silver nugget.
A silver nugget. Let's go. I like that. Silver nuggets. Okay, notes taken. For best iron, we've got Go West on the lead. Let's see, copper. We've got Blue Tulip on the lead. Let's see, best silver ore miner. We've got Exploric on the lead. And Breezius75 on best silver is tied up on third place with Ian, the IT guy. Let's check best silver nuggets. Best silver nuggets is the most, I would say, the one that with most scores. So 3T2 confirmed and MLD Tech, they both have 19 silver nuggets already. That's a lot of silver nuggets.
Oh, so our pickaxe just broke.
All right.
And yeah, it seems we got 1 silver nugget.
All right. Congratulations, Breezes. You just got yourself yourself 0.2 cent today and will be sent later on to your wallet. And also that ranking will be counted up for all the leaderboards. So congratulations. So that was just one example. If it was to end today, Breezy75 would win extra 3 cents out of the coal for being second best coal miner. So in top of all the leaderboards, now we have these ones which will give extra prizes. Okay, now continuing the discussion we were having, maybe we can trade that one and go back to editor. So we keep optimizing and talk a bit more about the game maker. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Everything seems to be working. All good. Okay, let's keep optimizing. So second topic was, so we talked about map and asset optimization already, and we were to talk about logic performance and how does it affect on the game. Okay, so we also ran a lot of tests of that. So we ran some tests where we were deleting like all those mosses that do you have the stats there? For example, all the mosses combined, how much faces do they have? Like V1, V2, V3, V4, and V5. So we have
I had
5
it
different
before,
type of. Okay.
but I closed it just to save memory. Let me try to reopen it. So yeah, I think I can just sum them, and the sum of the mosses before, so it's almost 1 week old data, but it's 500,000 of faces. Almost one half, what almost 500,000 of faces. Yeah,
Okay, so
500,000.
so that's just from the mosses, alpha million of faces. So I would say that's from deleting rocks. We deleted everything: rocks, boulders, mosses, plants, grass, everything. Basically, all of those assets that we were repeating on the thousands. So we deleted basically, if that's only moss, alpha million, I can say for sure that we deleted over 1 million faces from the map. And the difference that we got in terms of, I'll start with monoram. So the difference I saw with monoram, when you press Control F9, if you want to do it, so that people can follow that. As you can see on the top corner here, every time you go in and go back from, so when you're changing from play mode and editor mode, you'll be adding more RAM allocated. So if you go back and forth at least 5 times, you should close your save, close your game maker, restart it, and open it again, because it will clear that cache and it will run faster. So if this was just brand opened and we did not get into play mode, and now back into editor mode, we would be sitting around, what's usually the number, 900 mono, 800?
Yeah, below 1,000
1,000.
megabytes. It at least for me, it never goes more than 1,000 if I don't go back and forth into editor and play mode.
Okay, so the difference I got from deleting all those assets, it was 200 megabytes in mono. So I was able to reduce from 900 to 700. So, okay, that's some nice statistics there. Pretty much all the decoration that we have on the map, it's taking 200 megabytes from processing power. Also, regarding allocated, also toned down from there, it also got reduced. So you can see how much does it affect. But then we went to play the game. So basically, there's only logic and mineable assets, which also take a pretty chunk of processing power as well. So we only got 200 megabytes out of difference from, let's say, 1 million face count. So it's a lot of faces, and it does not reduce that much. I was actually hoping and expecting more reduced. And in terms of the frames per second that we got improvement, it was not that much. So it was funny that by reducing 1 million face count, we did not get much more improved frames per second in terms of the stable frame per second, but we did get more mono. Now, when we started to trigger all the logic, and that's when you get the frames per second to really go down and then go back up, because there's a lot of processing power going on, it would not go as low as 15, 10 frames per second, 18. It would be a much stable, higher performance. So although it does not give that much frames per second, by deleting those, actually when performing all the logic, it makes difference. So I was able to experience that while triggering all the logic, it would never go below 20 frames per second, meaning that we were having a very fluid experience. So we were able to run around while all the logic was triggering, and there was no lag, there was no rubber banding, there was no how do you call it? There was no hiccups on the gameplay, so it was very, very fluid. Okay, 1 million faces only does not improve that much the frames per second, but does improve the RAM. And when the logic is running, it makes it not drop frames per second that much. So that was one of the conclusions that we had. So, okay, if we do not get that much frames per second, it means that the mineable blocks and all the logic alone, so having the threshold at 60 frames per second and knowing that we were getting like about 33, 35 frames per second, we can now get, so the conclusion that we got is that the logic and the mineable blocks on the map, they take about 20 frames per second, that alone. So having that in mind, we know that, okay, with the current version of 0.7, because on 0.8 we are able to actually put logic in a different tab that does not weigh that much on the performance, and we're eager to make that transition to optimize the map again as well. But at 0.7 point of view, at least, what we have found out is that we are getting 25 frames per second only because of the logic and of the mineable resources. So it means that, okay, there isn't that much to improve in terms of optimization of the map. That's like our threshold. It's very much impossible to go over that because only the logic alone is consuming that. So no matter how hard we can try to optimize that, we know that we have that threshold that we cannot go over. So when you're making a game, and if you're just, I'm not sure what would be, and I want to hear your opinion, everyone here that works with the game maker, what do you like to start with first? Do you like to start with the map design first and just get the feel of the map, or do you like to start with the logic and mechanics first on the map? And I think that
At
would
least,
be a very, very good insight.
at least for me, I think logic should be developed first. I think
Okay.
that at least then you, because well, it depends on the game. Actually, it depends on the game. At least for Pickaxe Master, I think logic is the thing that enables a gameplay. So logic is first. But for example,
Speed race, parkour.
speed race, or for example, let's call that I love that experience where you're running from in a track where there's many things that try to make you fall. I saw like Panda Pops and other streamers together compete on it. And I really love those maps, but basically the logic is very simple. There's a lot of platforms, but not a lot of that really long chain of logic. It's all repeating, and you can simply add them to a simple gaps. In that kind of experience, I think map design is more important than the logic, because I think you could always parent more assets to one moving object and create some sort of logic that you could build on. So basically, while for that kind of game, logic is a building tool. And for example, in this game, the logic is the game, at least in my kind of view.
It makes sense. So there's like depending the game you're building, you would focus on something. So I'm going to try to summarize what you said. So in this type of game, the logic working is actually what makes the game work. It's pretty much reliant on the logic to work to have the game working. And some other games, they rely more on the how the game was actually designed to make the game work. It's not that heavy based on the logic. So depending on what type of experience you're building, so in that case, you should start first with logic, or you should start first with map building. And why would that be? So you know that logic will take part of engine performance, and you know that decoration and map building will take part of game performance, and there should be a balance between those. Or at least you're going to need to find a balance between those two. Having that said, in our case, we pretty much started to do both at the same time, and we just our strategy was just go over the top. We were like, okay, let's make it as detailed as possible. Let's make these like a very, very detailed experience.
Well,
And
I think that we just tried what we can. We just
Mhm.
tried our best and just learning each day and just looking what works for us. And yeah, I think that a lot of this map was work first, thought later.
Well, we have let's say we have the direction, which is let's
Yeah,
make these.
totally, totally.
The direction was let's make these as detailed and as complete as possibly can, until we feel like the game is completely breaking. And that was basically our guideline. And what we were able to reach, and I think this is where I want to connect also to the next topic, which is game maker boundaries. So we were building into a point that we were breaking game maker boundaries in terms of the performance and what's actually capable of running. And we've been doing that since Game Maker 0.6. So if we go back until now that we're on Game Maker 0.8, so this is 3 versions of Game Maker, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, and we can make a parallel of how things have evolved and what were the milestones that were and the challenges that were faced in each of those steps, and which things have passed on from one game maker to the other, so we can say like, okay, this is the thing. So for Game Maker 0.6, there was one, different physics going on, there were different dynamics, there were no presets. And remember, we have this game working before presets. Presets really helped us to make everything run smoother and better, but this game was already running before presets. So without on Game Maker 0.6, it was, I felt like it was easier to understand when the game maker was getting overloaded or not. So there was a fine line there when we had 100% success rate on the logic running. And then afterwards, when we get more assets, and the game did stop getting that 100% of work rate. So having that line there, we know that, okay, we are over the top. Now we have to reduce decoration. Now we've reduced this amount. Now we can add some more. It was like a going back and in and back process until we reached like, this is the optimal stage. And we were pretty much finishing everything on 0.6, and then 0.7 got launched. There were presets. We had to redo and redesign all the logic, which I think it made it very simpler. It made it safer as well. We were able to add more protection layers into the logic as well. So some issues that we're having that players could potentially rig the logic, now they no longer can due to that upgrade. So it's really good. But also with load on distance, I would say that we got, again, carried away. And like, hey, we got load on distance. Let's put a lot of information in the map again, because performance just got over the top. Like, hey, we can build a lot. And that's when we decided again to overload the game maker one more time until we've reached the boundaries. And then we discovered Control F9. We did also that the play test, let's say, where Joseph was playing on the GMA show, and he was like, wow, what's happening here? I have a very good computer, but this game is breaking like so badly. I cannot run. What's happening here? This is not good. And we're like, okay, maybe performance is still a thing. And then Alfdark gently provided one of the best tips, I would say, that we have found out lately, which was the Control F9, which is this thing you're seeing above in here. And through that, we're able to control those metrics much, much better. Okay, so let's go into the next topic, which is boundaries of the game maker. So regarding logic, just to close the previous topic regarding logic performance. So when you're building an experience, you should also take in consideration that there's going to be logic that you're going to need and will take performance, and there's going to be decoration and map build that you're going to need to make your experience look good. One is to make the experience work, and the other is to make the experience look good to the user, so it looks appealing for you to join in and explore and see what's happening on that map. Okay, so having those in mind, you have to think, okay, how much do I rely my game on map building and decoration? Is it going to be heavy? Like, does it need to be super flashy so it works? Or it can be like a very simple type of game. It does not need a very complex decoration. I can think just on the top of my head, for example, with Game DZ Sand or No Sand Show. So it's just like, it's like a stage where he's hosting that show, and it's pretty much that stage that is set up. Like, it's a whole one by one. Most of it does not need anything. It's just that one stage that is designed. So it's on that stage, it's really well decorated, but everything else, it needs nothing. Everything else is saved up for logic. So that's, for me, it's a good example on how you can balance your needs in terms of the presentation of the game itself. In that case, it's a very simple. It's like this one fixed camera that's presenting that stage. And then everything else is completely meaningless. You don't need to decorate it because you'll not be streaming about it. You'll not be showing it. So that's a very good example case of how you can use the map decoration at your advantage. You only do what you need to make the game work, and then you can save everything else for logic. Or, for example, you're going to build a game that's very dependent on logic. So you're going to need to see how much processing power your game maker is going to take to run that logic flawlessly. And then with what's left, you're going to use it to build your map. And with that, again, assets optimization, starting from Vox Edit, and then from here, decorating, you can also do the same by placing strategically the blocks. We had a couple of streams where Gibash was also telling you like how to decorate, how you should be placing things on the map as well, and how everything could be optimized with that. So we're not going through that again. Maybe we can do later on another show that we can talk more about the map decoration on, for example, here where Gibas does a lot of corner cutting with mosses, stones, as you can see pretty much in here. It's trying to cut all the corners and then making like some sort of islands of decoration as well. But
this is a lot of process went with this. A lot of Gush ideas, a lot of my experimentation, a lot of Bruno ideas, a lot of learning. I'm more of a tech guy than a creative guy, I would say, but I'm really trying to press on that creative side, and I learned a lot. But probably the person who teach me the most is Gush. So if you shout out to him, yeah.
Shout out to Gush. Yes, he's a creative monster. Okay, so regarding logic performance, that's what we wanted to share with you, is that if you're building, take in consideration that logic will affect your performance and map decoration will affect your performance. And you want what you should be aiming, and this was taken from Cyber Dragon interview with Crafter, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, is that assets should not go below not assets, sorry. The experience should not drop below 30 frames per second.
Well, in case of playability, yeah, but I see like this experience on Boss Killer running 60 FPS. All right, so on my end it's 30 FPS. So who's right? So if then we're taking, maybe I'm taking my uncle's, or not uncle's, but my my father's PC laptop, which is unable to run any games, and then I will get even on the original Sandbox 20 FPS. So what are the recommended requirements for Sandbox? All right. So
I think
then we can have a
that should
baseline.
be. I think that should be
Um,
in the website. I feel like there's like
yeah,
a usually that sorry that type of stuff is stated usually what's the computer.
and
Let's see how on here.
as alpha, I think they don't know. They don't know what is the minimum. They are trying to figure it out. Basically,
Oh,
what kind of games are people creating? What kind of PC you need to run those games?
mm-hmm.
For now, the games are quite easy. Yeah, you don't need a quite good PC. Um, but for this kind of instance, you quite need a PC. Mine is just enough. Um, and yeah,
That is pertinent what you're saying. Like, should all experiences have to get through the same baseline, or should we like for you to run this experience, you're going to need at least this type of computer. Like
yeah,
even
probably
inside the sandbox could be different
that's a
type
great
of
solution.
experience. Okay.
That's a great solution. Yeah. For example, maybe a creator is making low-end games. Or maybe, well, yeah, I don't know. If you have more land, you could make one low res, one high res, and just teleport the player to the corresponding one. Um, there is a lot of possibilities to do, and this I think this is what I call a soft problem. Um, it's solvable. It's not like we are physically limited by this thing called faces. We are able to have more. We are able to have more powerful processors. We are able to have more powerful GPUs, which will be able to run these games on flawless performance. So
Mm-hmm.
if time is a problem, just wait.
Okay. I'm trying to see here where I can see like the minimum specs to run the game.
So I would not say like that performance should never go lower than certain number. Just
So I
because
was just
it
yeah, I was just
depends.
saying it. I was just saying something that
Yeah, yeah,
it was said.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. I totally understand from where that point of view comes, but
Mm-hmm.
at least my opinion is that it depends.
Okay.
It's really a thing that you want to make, but in some cases it's not possible. At least for what I seeing at the moment, my PC is just enough. So that is the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
And for junior or boss killer, the experience is running flawlessly. Like
That is also
like
that's it's on mine. It also runs faster on yours. I
yeah.
get
So
more
so he
frames.
has 60 FPS in editor and 55 minimum at that play mode. So so yeah. So who's right? But
That is also true.
because you know the computers will evolve, they
Mm-hmm.
will get cheaper, and everyone will be able to have more powerful PC. So are you building for past or are you building for future?
Hmm. Okay, that's also a very interesting thought. Hmm. Okay, so regarding that, we were going to pass on to what are the game maker boundaries. So that's, I think it's also a very good topic to go after what we just discussed because we're talking about map and asset optimization. We're talking about logic as well, performance and how it affects the game. So I think we pretty much what it summarizes a bit of what we have been doing here, which is pretty much working with the game maker boundaries. So basically we're always in this thin line of is the game maker broken already, like is it too slow to run the game, and you saw that through the stream when sometimes the game really gets slow, or is it still optimal to be played. So we've been running through that thin line for quite some time, which I would say it's been a very good experience because we've actually been able to see what are the limits of the game maker, and knowing those limits of the game maker will also only make you grow as a creator because you really know where it's what it's possible and what it's not, or where you're going over the place. Like, okay, now I'm running my game at 20 frames per second, it's looking really good, the logic it seems good, but that's on my computer. Maybe I have a super high-end computer and it will only run well on my computer, and maybe that's some sort of eliminating factor to not get the game published. I don't know, but yeah. So regarding game maker boundaries, let's go over a bit of the numbers we just talked about. So we know that we have, depending on the type of logic we're using on the game, that's going to consume a bit more or less processing power. So, for example, having a lot of speakers, having voids in your game, having collision boxes as well, having animated assets, all of that will pretty much affect your experience in the game maker. So you want to see, and what you're looking for is the amount of everything you'll be using. And if you're able to take note of what you're placing inside a map, like Gibbers did, it will give you a more distance overview of what is actually inside your map. And by knowing exactly what's inside your map, you know what type of assets. Okay, we're using these Rock V3 800 times, 1000 times, and they have 250 faces. Okay, maybe we can delete Alpha Fifth and just substitute them for another type of asset that is 200 or even 100 faces less. You're saving.
Maybe just try to optimize the file. So you could just lower a little bit of faces. It really helps a lot. Even few faces goes a long way when you have a lot of assets.
For example, if you can tone down that really detailed rock you have that has, for example, 200 faces, and you can tone it down to a simplified version that has 100 faces, and you're saving 100 faces in each one of those, you have 1,000. That's 100,000 faces you just saved there.
Yeah. So, faces matter, but there is also logic. There is also things that take performance, like collisions. If you have probably a lot of moving collisions, I would expect a bit more. Performance. For example, if you have some sort of pinball machine, which the ball is always bouncing around somewhere, so I think it could have more issues, just because you could see like the ball sometimes does not go too fast to collide, or just goes just straight through, just because collisions decided, no, I'm busy. and it could be a lot of things. This is alpha. We should always have this in mind. This is alpha, and many or all things might change.
as you read every time in the loading screen. All right. So just to give a quick overview. So in terms of, actually, I did not try to delete just the logic and leave all the assets. I should have done that test. Actually, I did it, but it was quite some time ago. I don't remember what was the results. But let's assume that it's backwards. So if we delete all the assets, we get like a performing game at 35 FPS, between 30 and 35. So probably if we delete all the logic, we would have a game fully decorated that would be running around probably 45 FPS. 45? No. That would be. We can try, but not now.
Later on. Not on screen. Not on screen.
Later on, we can try that. And we will be able to share that result with you to see what we got, with what we have come up.
I see very little logic in just trying this kind of test. The game is not working without logic. Why don't you even?
Of course, no. It's just to understand how much it weighs decoration alone.
Well, yeah. Well, just
information is always good. Like, especially when you're planning to make more experiences and you're planning to build more stuff. Just knowing the boundaries. It's about game maker boundaries again. Just knowing those and having that number in mind, like, okay, we're reaching that number of assets, we're reaching that number of. So we have thresholds, sort of, to say, like, oh, this is going to a critical level. We're reaching that amount of assets. We're reaching that number of frames per second. We're reaching that amount of mono allocated RAM, for example. We have different type of metrics that now we can guide on and see, like, okay, we cannot go over the top in here, these type of assets. For example, the new experience we're building, and this is just a super good reference on the things we've learned, how we're bringing them into a new experience. For example, one thing we decided is to stop using, so not stop using, but start to only use custom assets. So in this experience, we're using a lot of Sandbox assets, especially blocks. I think that all blocks are from Sandbox except 2 grass blocks and the mineable
Exactly. Yeah.
blocks.
And
But for
what it allows us is to change the color palette. So, for example, right here, we cannot change the look of this stone, and we are spinning around it. We are not building a game. We are basically building the details around this kind of style. So I think just working with your own asset really gives you the freedom or to explore the possibilities of your game design look. And also it allows you to, for example, if you're using assets, simplify them. So what we have a problem with grass. We used a lot of Sandbox grass. If we were able to replace or simplify the asset, it would be perfect. Like,
But
so
since
yeah.
they're Sandbox assets, we cannot edit those in Vox Edit, so we cannot optimize them. We just have to use them as they are. So that's one of the things. For example, even on blocks, one of the things we decided is try to get textures. So just with the color palette to give like a texture feeling, although it might be 2D because they're blocks. Having different types of those blocks, we can already make some sort of decoration in the game without even adding any assets, just with simple blocks and the way that they were designed. So that was one of the first. Okay, let's optimize the game and the decoration starting by simple things. And simple things, it's really the first things, blocks. So if you can already make some sort of decoration alone just by putting simple and custom blocks, that means that you're already going in the right track because it's already feeling a little bit custom. It's already feeling a little bit decorated without having one single asset on it. So just by having that into consideration, it means that whenever we get to actually place assets as a decoration, we're not going to need that many because the blocks are already doing part of that job. So optimization starts right there. That's number one thing. Secondly, we are trying to use, so we need to place logic to working. And we saw like, okay, one of the ways to make this logic work is going through this path. Another way to make the logic work is through this path. And we had to, for this type of logic we want to bring to that new game, before we actually started to build around it, we're like, okay, how many different ways can we make this logic work? And we found, okay, we can do this way, but this is going to make like overload so much on processing power because it's going to require a lot of logic to repeat. Then we found another one. It's like, okay, this is one of the worst case scenarios because this type of logic also consumes a lot of processing power. And then we found a third way to do the same thing. So the game we're building, we found 3 different ways to actually manage to get that logic working. And the third one was like, okay, this is actually the most effective one to do the game because it will make a very important part of the game, a very part of the logic be based on something that's mechanical and that it's not through, for example, a speaker component that's always trying to read messages and always trying to read tags. So all of those stuff that's always sending messages, always trying to read tags, always to do something, that really consumes the processing power. And we're able to go away from that. So it's like, okay, perfect. Now we have blocks that are custom, that not only serve as Terraform, but also them alone, they are already doing map decoration. So we're going to save assets there. We've got to do one of the biggest parts of the logic with a more mechanical process that's going to save us a lot of logic work in terms of making either a lot of either voids or asset spawners or just speakers, askers, etc. So we're going to be able to reduce all of that as well. So that was, again, another victory because we're saving processing power from that. So starting now a new experience from scratch and being able to absorb all of this knowledge from building this game and knowing the limits and what we should look for at the beginning of building a map. And I see like a green block like lost there. If you go down, can you see it? No, on the wall, up, just there. Did you change that one? Feels like a bit lost, that green one. Okay, done, solved.
Yeah. Like every single person's opinion is matters because it's adding on top. Yeah, so I really appreciate every single thing, because for example, if Bruno thinks that block is not in place, there are many people who also think that block is not in place. For me, I don't know. So for people who are similar to me, we don't know. But at least for Bruno, it's not in place. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough line. Yeah, it's a tough line. Like both of us could be right, both of us could be wrong at the same time.
But for me, I did not feel like it's wrong or good. For me, I felt like I don't know, but you felt like it's not right. So yeah, I think then we need to change it.
It did pop my eye.
Yeah, so that's the, I think is a really nice way.
Okay.
OCD meltdown.
So happy you fixed OCD meltdown averted.
Oh my god. At least when you're building, and if you have OCD, oh my god, I hope you're building small maps and you're building alone. Because like building with people, at least I am very opened to building with others, but I probably know that other people might be quite troublesome for them to build with others, just because one does one, other has different opinion, and then your OCD kicks in and it might be a struggle.
Try to build in a 2x2. No, it's all good. We're actually starting to build on a 2x2, and it's a lot of space. Although the type of game we're building, actually, I'm not sure. The 2x2 feels like a 1x1.
Yeah, I totally agree, Bruno. We talked about this
It's
before,
strange.
and I take my words back. It's 2x2, but though it feels so small. And this one, it's 1x1. It feels so big.
But that one, it's a 2x2, but it feels small.
Actually, I created the max just as a testing map. So I have a lot of testing maps. So just recently, I created a testing map as big as it possibly be, just to
a 24x24.
4x4. So.
Oh, that's the maximum. Okay, right now.
Yeah, 4x4.
It's big.
It's big. It's big. Yeah. Though, is it max?
No, the maximum should be 24x24. At least that's the estate, the maximum estate.
But can you place one experience on whole that estate?
Not
now. Count? Well, not now. Yeah, not now.
Like you're saying all the time, it's still alpha.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe they'll have some sort of like instance zones. Maybe you can subdivide the same map like through mini maps. Maybe
it's partitioning. At least in other engines it's called something like that, and also partial loading. So basically there are big cubes, like chunks, which load only the neighboring chunks. So basically,
and load on distance as well.
Yeah. So but basically that's when you have really huge maps, like completely out of realms what we have here now. But they are loading the chunk that you are with high res, and they are loading the neighboring chunks with a little bit of data. But when you move from one chunk to another, it loads more data, and it basically the data is moving with you. So it loads and unloads the data actively, which I'll guess will also come into function sometime in some Sandbox.
It would make sense, at least to get some really big experience, like even a 3x3, or maybe well, you said a 4x4, it's bigger than a 3x3. So, but even a 6x6, it already feels ginormous. I would say you can build like a very super big game in there already. So yeah, regarding that, so it was pretty much game maker boundaries, what we were trying to explain, what we have discovered. So in terms of number of assets in here for this experience, do you remember how much was it? It was like 20,000, 15,000, the total number?
Uh, I will just. Oh, I have to do this a bit differently. Just give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, god damn it.
What happened?
You know there are two things like control click and shift click to select multiple.
Uh-huh.
And when I shift clicked, it removed all of that. So at least with Restimate things, we have around 15,000 assets.
15,000 assets. Okay.
And
So that's
this
that
is
as only as
counting the.
decoration.
Yeah, this is only decoration. I did not count some which I could count.
Like coins, NPCs,
Coins,
trees.
supports, scaffolds, trees. Well, trees are counted into this. What else?
Yeah, for example, the coins, like the scaffolds. There's a lot
Fishes.
of scaffolds.
Fishes.
So there's a lot of other assets that are not taken, but let's say like probably between 15,000 and 16,000 is the amount of assets used in this map. So for us, Game Maker boundaries, I would say that for next experiences, probably not go over these many assets, trying to reduce those, maybe trying to optimize more the assets as well. So that's some of the things we've learned. Okay, maybe what do you think it would be a good ratio or a good number, like to not go over the top?
Well, you see, my opinion on this is quite harsh. So,
I know.
mm, I'm all about the immersion. So the details for me is
It's important.
basically,
It's
yeah,
relevant.
basically, at least my opinion, not many people will play the game if it looks not appealing. So it
Hmm.
first has to be appealing, and then has to have great gaming mechanics. At least in my like a person. First, it has to be somehow attractive, and then
Hmm.
you might be able to. I don't know about these things, but I read that basically our mind is making a decision in 5 seconds. Do you want to know this person more? Um, and basically
Okay.
I'm thinking about this same process when the player launches the game, or sees it on YouTube or anywhere else. It gets a really quick feedback of for brain gives a quick feedback of, do I like it or do I not? And I think immersion is it's cool. At least um, it's recognizable. So statistically, it should work, like in my kind of mind.
Okay.
Um,
So I totally agree with you, but just to give some sort of guidelines. So one thing is, well, I agree with you, Givers. Don't get me wrong. I think that seems like a doubled one there. The one you're already selecting. Yeah, there's like, oh no, actually it's two. So I do think that we're not going over the top. I think that we should not have the need to delete decoration and leave it as best decoration as it is. So, but it
well,
is what it is in terms of game performance. Maybe in the future it would be like, meh, damn, we should have just stayed with that original version because now everything is possible. Like the game just runs smoothly with everything so decorated. But hey, we're just evolving at the same time as Sandbox it is and going on that direction. So the question was really, with current game maker and current what is currently available, what would you say for you is the most optimal or the maximum assets you
yeah.
should place in a
Well,
map?
what I also learned, if you want to go low on assets,
Mm-hmm.
make big assets,
Okay. They
and
will they will take more space from. They'll
yeah, more
occupy more
space,
space.
but just basically you could create your game around the thought that you are wanting to make your assets in certain amounts. So I just heard that for multiplayer experiences, it's
Mm-hmm.
recommended to have no more than 6,000 assets. That's
Okay,
very low, at least
that's
for
very
me.
low.
I think it's very low. So if we're talking about this kind of amount of assets, so I have to start to think really quite a lot what kind of assets I need. So I need probably quite some maybe some sort of modular assets. Okay, so what we talked a little bit today, maybe I need some base assets and maybe some then detail assets which could add on top of those assets, and just as we talked, maybe add just details where you need them. So maybe you put like 2000 assets for your base mesh, and then you use the three maybe yeah 3000 assets to really push it um, to have that detail inside, and you leave like 1000 assets for the logic. So at least I think that it's not the right way, I think, but it's one I think that it's a process that you should go on, like to think about, like what is the maximum amount that is recommended or that is running good, and how can I turn around this problem. So basically, at this current stage, the number of assets is a problem, but I think it could be just solved by really planning what kind of assets, and at least for me, I think big assets might be the answer. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, big assets really help a lot, but big assets has a lot of faces. So again, it's double-edged sword almost on the every side. It's always trying to min max all of these different things around performance, bugs, like time, issues, and like coordinate system. All of those things happen, and you just have to go around it. And I think this is one of the things that we have to have to go around. And I heard that on Sandbox stream they come with this kind of idea that creativity out of necessity or something like that. That
Mm-hmm.
basically it's not always bad that you are get into that kind of certain situation where you have to think, how can I solve this? Because it gives quite a good way to create something new. Because if everything is working perfectly, like but I heard this idea on their stream, and I quite agreed. I agree that sometimes limitations are the thing that accelerates the creativity.
Excellence and
Uh,
creativity.
uh, not excellence, but accelerate the
Accelerate.
creative. Basically, um, we don't have like a teleportation system,
Mm-hmm.
but people just because create with really creative ways to create teleportation system.
That is true.
So that is basically creativity out of limitations. So I heard this on the Sandbox stream, and I think that's a good view. Basically, as alpha creators, they are training us in some kind of sense. Not it's just
They're totally training us for the future. Going after all these stages in alpha, whenever we get the full version, we're like, yeah, we know how this shit works.
yeah, like also that with some assets having behaviors and components from the gecko. That's also, I think, that thing that will change. And if you have a golden numpad, I heard that there is a golden numpad.
There's a golden numpad. What are you talking about?
I heard that there is a golden numpad asset. it's good.
I'm not sure about everyone that's watching this stream, but I'm like, stop everything. What's the golden numpad? What are you
I
talking
think
about?
if I get my hands on my wallet to touch on it,
Okay.
I think it's for boss killer. At least in my kind of view, I will probably send it to boss killer
The golden
if I
numpad.
mm, yeah.
Okay. So
It's
that's
like
like
like a
certified builder, logic builder. Like you deserve to receive a
like a
golden.
Oscar.
It exists. PG Metaverse says it exists. A
Yeah,
golden.
I
What?
heard that it exists.
Let me go to OpenSea.
So like a Oscar. So a gold numpad goes to boss killer
Oh wow.
or half dark or um who's also
Golden.
good on logic. Bruno, I don't know.
No, Cyber Dragon.
Cyber Dragon, yeah. Like
Andy Ritchie. There's so many.
maybe someday we will have these kind of events. I seeing this only
Maybe.
happening.
Numpad. I'm just trying to see for numpad. No.
Cyber Dragon numpad. Okay.
I don't see numpad in here in the sandbox assets. But
What we need?
I believe you.
More donuts. One also thing 0.8. So basically, it's possible to have circular and really nice meshes. So basically, as a donut, it's an asset with no voxels. So basically, I could see in future some assets becoming not voxels, just because I saw this donut.
That could be.
Maybe
trying to
far
see
future,
for that.
but basically it shows me that the sandbox is all right with it, and the engine is all right with it. So basically, it's possible to have.
So you're saying that probably in the future there could be like a polygon type of assets.
Vox Edit 2.0. I don't know.
Okay, that will bring it closer a little bit with what the Central Land is doing.
Maybe not Vox Edit, but maybe Vertex Edit. I don't know.
Okay, I can see where you're going with.
Yeah, and basically, there is no end to this. Basically, this is a engine, and just seeing what can development bring, how much it could grow. Yeah.
Found it. The golden numpad. It actually exists.
Okay.
And there's only one person that has one.
There's only one?
Yeah, which is called Cuts and Cheese.
There's only one golden numpad?
No, there's 10 golden numpads.
Oh.
I'm just saying that's apart from Cyber Dragon, the only person that's on the first day God created the golden numpad. That's a funny one. All right. I can see it here, the golden numpad. Let me share here. It's a shame. This should have been minted.
It's not minted?
Well, it's minted, but it's not a sandbox asset. It's an asset on...
Oh. So basically there are no official minted golden numpad?
Nope. This one has been minted, but it was minted on
Half-dark?
OpenSea.
Half-dark? We need a green numpad.
For Althorp would be in a green numpad. I agree with you.
Flesh numpad.
Yes, that's given that was what I was checking. Only Vox Machina, no. Cold Cuts and Cheese got one. It's like the Cyber Dragon stamp when you want to enter the GMF. Approved or not approved. Okay, so just to finish that conversation regarding game maker boundaries, I think we've given what was our feedback or our experience while working. Give us just given out some suggestions on what is heard regarding multiplayer. So 6,000 assets and how we would divide them through the first mesh or the first coating of assets, and then decoration, and how much should be reserved for logic as well. Of course, depending on the type of game you're building and depending how much now with GameMaker 0.8 logic does not affect performance as well. We will see, and we'll be able to give also more feedback once we get more experiences on Game Maker 0.8, which is super brand new, so a lot of conclusions are still to be made. And Kibash, we're about in 2 hours and 10. I think we should we should do the last raffle for the last lucky miner of the show before we go to the weekend. What do you think?
Ooh, this today is a long stream. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's bring it up. We did for general.
I just cannot stop optimizing.
Well, I don't mind at all. It means there's going to be more frames per second for us to play. More free RAM.
Not especially for us, but for
Everyone.
For everyone, yeah, for phone players and yeah, mobile is also very interesting. I'm really
It will.
waiting.
Save. Oh yeah, Wicked U2 really knows it. Save. It's been a long time since you did not hit that button.
Thank you, Wicked U2. We need a bot that you know.
Gimesh, save the game.
You know that thing which just click and takes.
I think my internet was breaking a little bit.
Films or it's probably was mine. Because I'm loading the experience, it's always cutting me off in that time.
Okay, it really felt like. Can you repeat it?
Is it good now?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Oh, I see a lot of delay.
I'm not sure if it was my internet or yours.
No, I think it's Bruno, my internet. I see that it's getting back better, but basically while loading the game, takes a lot of performance, and probably streaming gets a little bit delayed. Let's call it.
I think it will be all good. So we did a raffle for general, then we did for pickaxe owners, then we did for general. So I would say that now it's for pickaxe owners again.
All right. And we're ready.
Let's bring it up, that Wheel of Fortune.
Let's shuffle.
Let's shuffle.
And let's spin.
And let's spin. Good luck, everyone. Let's see who gets to be the next lucky miner. In case you're wondering, where and how do I get one of those pickaxes that we're raffling for pickaxe owners? And here it is. That's the link for Sandbox Marketplace, where it is the Pickaxe Master NFT collection, and where you can get the pickaxe NFTs. And let's see who gets to be the next lucky miner. It feels like it's going to be Go West.
Let's see. Detailed information.
It is Go West. Go West, congratulations. Are you still watching the stream so that you can claim your prize? Let us know. We'll be waiting about 2 minutes for you to say something here. Otherwise, we'll make a respin and re-raffle the lucky miner. Let's see. We've got Go West in the house. That timer will really help as well, so it's fair. Like,
yeah,
just goes like 2 minutes.
I also was thinking by part of my brain, there is 2 ways I can do this. I can create download a plugin for timer, or I can just render a numbers, basically a 2-minute video that I can put inside OBS. And I'm thinking, is video less or more performance heavy than a plugin? So yeah, but
maybe plugin. I don't know. You try it, maybe having both and see how it affects the performance.
Yeah. But just was thinking by part of the brain, just which one is the way.
Okay, so I think we already went over 2 minutes already. So let's spin the wheel again.
Right.
So one more time, good luck everyone. Let's see who gets to be the next and last lucky miner of this week.
Let's shuffle and let's spin. Yeah, I think maybe even 2 minutes is it's too much. No, though maybe not. I don't know.
Well, for us, I would say 2 minutes because between the lag and the delay of the stream and what everyone is seeing and reading and then actually answering as well. Is it going to be, well, 3-2 confirmed already won once. So Wapax, it does feel like Wapax.
PG Metaverse OG. Oh, go West.
Oh,
Regarding the PG Metaverse, are you registered on the Pickaxe owner?
so there are two forms, by the way, PG Metaverse. There's one form that you can participate by typing LFM, and it's the one that appears from this one. And there's a second one that you can fill it if you are in the Discord server and you get access to that private tab where we usually tag everyone at the start of the stream. There we put a second form, which is in that private tab. And yeah, that one.
I'm double checking.
Go as yes, you did miss it again. You only filled one. Okay, that makes sense. So you need also to fill that one because that one is for Pickaxe owners only. And Go as we're sorry for not being able to give it to you. We did wait 2 minutes, and now for Wapax, it also feels pretty much the same, I would say. Let's just give it one more minute until we make the re-raffle again.
I'm just double checking all of these answers because it should all go automatically. I have 13 answers right here, and I hear 13 answers right here. Yeah, all good. PG Metaverse. Yeah, all good. So probably let's spin again.
Yep, let's re-raffle. So good luck, everyone. Let's do it again.
For example, if in this kind of sense, Go West is raffled and he's here, is he winning?
If we get on the Wheel of Fortune Go West and now he's here, you'll be able to claim the prize. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Just to know.
Yeah, of course.
Is it Blue Tulip?
It does feel like.
Go West. I was thinking about this situation and Blue Tulip.
We're sorry for that.
I really like the Twitch app in phone. Oh, Blue Tulip is here. All right.
Let's check what type of pickaxe does Blue Tulip have, and also Blue Tulip, what type of blocks do you want to mine in here?
I feel like giving a little bit of time is fair, but waiting too much is not fair. I don't know.
2 minutes, it feels like a round number. I would say it's solid.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you have to take the Wheel of Fortune from the screen.
Thank you.
And we have a gold pickaxe in the wallet. Okay,
yes,
perfect.
Indeed.
Let's do stone today. Okay, only stone was chosen during today's stream. So gold pickaxe, we're going to mine stone, and this is for Blue Tulip. All right. Everyone, please type in good luck in the chat, as we want Blue Tulip to be one lucky miner today, and we want him to get a lot of prizes. And welcome, United Grands All. How you doing? Thank you for the birthday wishes yesterday.
So as you can see, at this moment, the reserved RAM is 4 gigabytes. The mono is 1,700, and it's way lower. The performance it's maybe not lower, but lower than the first time we played it. A gold ore, nice.
Oh, nice gold ore, hell yeah.
Not so often do we see this. Yeah, cool.
It's been quite regular, I would say.
Gold
At
ore?
least, yeah, at least
Yeah,
every
now when you
stream
say it,
now,
yeah.
it feels like it's dropping a gold ore. But you were talking about
Maybe
RAM. Sorry.
yeah. So just really, it really feels when you get that memory filled.
Hmm.
It really feels on the player side. For example, even one going back and forth, I can really say that like before it's okay, and later on it starts to have these performance spikes, I would call it. Um, and yeah,
And you know what? This
I
place you're mining at, I think it's one of my favorite places to mine. It feels like this region, this area, is a bit more lucky than every other place in the map. But hey, this is just my
we will call it
superstition
this
working.
a lucky rat.
That's the lucky rat. He's the one that's bringing the luck. Could be that
Maybe, I don't
spider.
know. Could be.
Also, please someone sell us a lucky Wheezy hat for a reasonable price. We
Bruno
would
is
be using
bargaining.
that. I'm bargaining with everyone.
Um, well, yeah, the hat is cool and all. Um, but it's only a hat though. You can use it only as a hat.
Well, we can use it for extra luck, I would say. Come on,
Though it's
someone's stopping my offer. No, no. Let me top it again.
uh,
So if you're
uh
checking this, please accept that one.
Bruno is going hard. Nice. Um,
Oh yeah, I'm
so
serious about this one.
probably we will see Dwarf equip it in some time.
Oh yeah, we had a question. Now that you mentioned dwarfs, we had a question regarding avatar mint. It was way back in the stream, but now that you mentioned, I remember that we had that question. We're talking about something else, and that just completely got lost in the stream. But regarding avatar mint, it's going to take a little bit. So one of the things we wanted to have is the avatar mint to be closer whenever we got the leaderboards working on. That would, or when we have the PvP modes working on. So that's when we actually wanted to have the avatars, because as you know, we want to have the utility close to the game launch. So here, in terms of the pickaxes, we can already give a utility for it. So you can already play in the warm-up season, so they can already get this feeling. And also, once the game goes live and we have the leaderboards and you'll need a pickaxe to entering the play to earn, so that's already aligned to be. And we got a gold ore for the session, right?
Yep.
For
Do we
blue
do a
tulip.
raffle for general one?
No, I think that we are already over time.
Yep. Yep.
And
Well, quite a lot of
we
overtime.
already raffled for 4 pickaxes today. So I
Oh
think
wow.
it's usually we do 3. So I would say it's a fair number already. All right. So it's 2 hour and a half already off stream. I would say that Gibbons, you want to start this time with some words to the chat?
Thank you everyone who is here at this moment watching the stream, everyone who was watching the stream before, anyone who is watching the stream in the future. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you, and let's see each other on the next one.
Hell yeah, I've not said it better. Thank you for everyone that's here, for everyone that was here, and for everyone that will be watching the replay. I hope that you guys had a lot of fun with us. I hope that you enjoyed these talk about the game maker and what was our perspective and our experience. I hope that you learned something with it and you enjoyed and retained something useful from this stream as well. Hope that you enjoyed mining and had a lot of fun with us. We'll be back on Monday at 5 p.m. UTC. So until then, we want to wish you a good weekend and hope that you have a relaxing time. You go outside, you visit your local mountain. And until then, just be yourself and have some fun. All right? Take care and see you on Monday. Cheers.
In ancient times, this secret mountain was sealed by the dwarf titans with 5 powerful.
Let's skip that boring part and let's dig into business. I need your help.
Hey, where am I? This is a bit different from what I visited earlier.
Hey, come here quick.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
How dare you to interrupt my story? I am the mountain.
Well, as I was saying, this is the Misty Mountain and has 2 things about it. One, it's filled with golds and diamonds. And there is some kind of weird magic.
What was the last part?
Instead, you can mine any dwarf streams, and all you need is a pickaxe.
Any dwarf streams?